Imagine you didn't know anything. Let's say you didn't know anything about this latest incident. And imagine that I told you that a young man stabbed another young man to death for telling him that he was in the wrong seat. And then I told you that one young man in the altercation was white and the other was black. And then I asked you to guess the race of the assailant. Without any more information, you would know the answer immediately, wouldn't you? Every single person in the country would know the answer immediately.
Matt Walsh just had a video where he said exactly what everyone was thinking. He was on X and he tweeted this, and it set the libs into a frenzy. Obviously, when you have a tweet that has over 100,000 likes, viewed by 6.4 million people, you're going to have some upset libs, especially coming from Matt Walsh. Here's the tweet. If I told you that a young man stabbed another young man to death for telling him that he was in the wrong seat, and then I told you that one young man in this altercation was white and the other black, and then I asked you to guess the race of the assailant, every single person would know the answer immediately. Young black males are violent to a wildly, outrageously disproportionate degree. That's a fact. We all know it, and it's time that we speak honestly about it, or nothing will ever change. Now, I'll give you my thoughts at the end of the video. Let's get to Matt Walsh.
A white 17-year-old high school junior named Austin Metcalf was stabbed to death by a black athlete at a championship track meet, which was being held at a local stadium. And I want you to listen to how the local media is reporting on what happened. Listen.
Steve, Heather, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf had a bright future ahead of him. He was a leader on the football field and a scholar in the classroom. His dad told me he's holding on to memories and leaning deep on his faith as he tries to wrap his mind around this senseless tragedy.
It is senseless, according to the local news station. There was some kind of fight. But what kind of fight was it exactly? Did Austin Metcalf attack his killer first? Why exactly would somebody bring a knife to a track meet? And where exactly did the murder take place? Apparently, none of these questions seem relevant to the local Fox affiliate that aired that report. Pretty much all the reporting has been like this. You're supposed to gloss over details from the arrest affidavit, which states that the black athlete Carmelo Anthony was spotted in a tent that was reserved for Memorial High School, even though he was competing for a different school called Centennial. And that's when Austin Metcalf, who was running for Memorial High School, told Carmelo Anthony to get out of the tent. In response, one witness says that Anthony opened his bag and reached inside. Then he told Metcalf, quote, "Touch me and see what happens." And at some point, Metcalf reportedly grabbed Anthony or his backpack to get him out of the tent. In response, according to the affidavit, Anthony pulled a knife from his bag, stabbed Metcalf in the heart, and ran away as Metcalf bled out. And police say that he then threw the murder weapon into the stands in order to hide the evidence. Those are facts that look a lot like premeditation. I mean, after all, bringing a deadly weapon into the opposing team's tent during a track meet and then daring them to touch you so that you can stab them is exactly the kind of thing you do if you wanted to find a pretext to kill someone. And of course, if you had just defended yourself in any kind of legitimate way, you probably wouldn't flee the scene and then throw the murder weapon.
Sorry to pause it right here, guys, but if you don't mind just smashing that thumbs up button for me, really goes a long way to help me out. And also, if you're not yet subscribed and this is not your first time here, hopefully this could be the video that I earn your subscription.
The local news station, they don't want to talk about these aspects of the story because they might lead to some unapproved conclusions. It's the same reason they don't show you Carmelo Anthony's recent social media posts. And you can look at these two images here. As you can see, Carmelo Anthony has an evil grin while extending his middle finger towards the camera. In other images, he's hoisting a gun in the air. By contrast, here are Austin Metcalf's recent posts. He's celebrating that his hard work paid off and that he won Linebacker of the Year in football, as well as Team VP, and also Team MVP rather. And just a week ago, he was writing about his faith in God and all the hard work paying off. So the contrast could not be more obvious or more predictable. Now, the reason these images aren't being played in prime time by every news outlet is the same reason they showed you the childhood images of Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin and so on, instead of the images where they were wearing gold teeth or flashing gang signs. They're trying to short circuit your pattern recognition. You're not supposed to notice that posing like a thug and acting like one is a commonly accepted aspect of black culture in this country. Everybody knows that's true, but no one's supposed to say it. But no matter how much the media tries to deceive us, the fact remains that pattern recognition is hardwired at birth. And to prove that point, consider this hypothetical, which I posted yesterday on social media. A lot of people were very upset by this post, which is why, of course, I'm going to repeat it. Here's the hypothetical. Imagine you didn't know anything. Let's say you didn't know anything about this latest incident, and imagine that I told you that a young man stabbed another young man to death for telling him that he was in the wrong seat, and then I told you that one young man in the altercation was white and the other was black, and then I asked you to guess the race of the assailant. Without any more information, you would know the answer immediately, wouldn't you? Every single person in the country would know the answer immediately, because young black males are violent to a wildly, outrageously disproportionate degree. That is a fact.
Now, I'm going to give you my thoughts on this right after the video, but first let me play a quick clip of Jason Whitlock going off on this Austin Metcalf violent crime as well. Let's go.
Will anybody in the sports media world talk about this? Will any of the Cowboys treat Austin Metcalf the way the Cowboys treated George Floyd, taking a knee all over the place? What's more of a tragedy? George Floyd overdosing on fentanyl under the knee of Derek Chauvin, or this 17-year-old boy, honor roll student, devout Christian, stabbed in the heart at a track meet? But no one's outraged. No, that's a misnomer. People are outraged. But these idolatrous, or these idols that have been installed in our culture, let's see if they have a word to say about this. I don't think they will, because we've seen this before. Do you remember the shows I was doing a year and a half ago about the kid Ethan Liming? The 17-year-old, I believe, high school football player in Akron, Ohio, who got beaten up and killed in the parking lot of LeBron James's I Promise school. Everybody goes deathly silent when the white kid with the promising future gets killed by young black men. The boys that killed Ethan Lyman, they got 18 months in prison. They were found not guilty of involuntary manslaughter. A dispute over someone shooting water pellets at these two young black boys.
Now, there's a reason why the left doesn't talk about these, ever, because it doesn't fit the narrative. If it was the other races, if the black kid was stabbed by the white kid, this would be George Floyd all over again. White supremacy, we're burning down cities. You know it and I know it. Now, here's a chart by the Data Boys. A shout out to the Data Boys. I love their Instagram page. We know it. Black males make up a little bit over 5% of the population. 5.7, I think it is. Per capita commit more crimes than any other group in the country. It's not the women. It's not the black women. It's the men. But we need to start addressing this. We need to start addressing the cultural problem in that community. Again, or else what Matt Walsh said will never change. We need to start really addressing the issue with fatherless homes. But this might sound harsh. I don't mean it in a bad way towards the black community, but listen, there is a problem in America, a big one. But the problem is not white racism. The problem is not police brutality. It's not mass incarceration. It's not the militarization of the police. The problem is black crime. Again, I don't mean this to sound harsh. You can look at the FBI's page. Look at our crime rates. There's one population that is way worse, a very small amount of our population, than every other demographic, and that is black males. And those are just the facts. The black community has so many heroes that they can look to for inspiration. No, we're making murals of George Floyd instead of somebody like Roland Fryer, who's one of the greatest economists of our times, happens to be black. But he's shunned out of the black community because he says that police brutality is not a he's not willing to play the victim. Matt Walsh is 100% right here. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that thumbs up button for your boy. Consider subscribing to the channel. Help it grow. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.